Alright, what's going on everyone? Got the 5080 again, looking at Last of Us Part 2 Remastered at 4K. Right now we're not doing any upscaling, and we are on the low preset. So we're right at 100 FPS without doing any upscaling. So right here on this area, I got to this spot just so I could have a little bit more of an open, you know, this game has a lot of like corridors and it's a lot of enclosed scenery. So this, in my mind, is a little bit more challenging to run just because it's got a lot more draw distance and things that are obviously a little bit more wider scope, so you'll have to load in some things. But right here we're doing really well. We're at 93 FPS here, and we're still just going to kind of run around this area just to get some numbers here. No story elements, nothing's going to be ruined. Alright, so right here we're at 99 FPS, so looking good on our latency. We do have a reflex enabled, so that's going to keep that nice and low. So let's just jump in here. I'll show you what I'm working with. So right here, graphics, low. Let's just go up to medium. Go ahead and apply that and jump back into it. All right, so that gives us a drop down to about 86, 87. So everything's still looking really good, nice and sharp. You know, DLAA looks amazing. Preset K is the recommended preset for DLAA, so that's what it's on now. And we're just going to keep on running around here, 90 FPS, nothing to worry too much about. This game's going to run really well. The main issue with Last of Us Part 1 was VRAM, and right now 16 gigs proves to be just fine on this title as well. So we'll take a look at our VRAM usage. Right now we're at 11 gigs of allocated, but only 8.1 of used. So, you know, that's going to go up as we start to do a little bit more demand on the game itself. So right here, 91 FPS. Let's jump over and go to options and check out graphics. We're going to come up here and go to high. All right, so what that does here, let's just run through it the way you can get an idea. Pause if you need to. Everything, as you can see here, is just set to the high preset, nothing crazy. All right, so VRAM allocation went up a little bit, 12.6. Used is still around 9.7 though, so 87, 88 FPS here. Still looks really good. You know, not going to be any kind of issue at all. We're just going to see how high we can push the frames so you can get the best refresh rate match, hopefully. This is a 240 hertz panel, so I got a little bit of headroom that I could definitely utilize my refresh rate a little bit more. So right here, let's go to the very next level. Just go up to Ultra. See what it'll take. All right, so let's go into here and go all the way up and go to very high. All right, so ultra, very high, you know, whatever it's called. All right, so here we are. We are at 73 FPS still running really well. Latency is right around 30 milliseconds. VRAM allocation crept up just a hair, 12.7, but we are definitely still under our VRAM limit there at 9.8. You know, this is helpful information as well if you're considering maybe an 8 gig versus 12 gig or 12 gig card or 16 gig card, just to kind of see that in real time here. So 60s is pretty good, you know, especially a game like this. This is not a very fast-paced title at all. So we're just going to leave this here and do a little bit of upscaling. Now I've got everything set to recommended, so as I do the upscale, the NVIDIA app will automatically switch to the different presets that it recommends for different you know, upscaling methods. So when you see that change, that is just taken care of automatically for us. So let's jump into here and go to our display and do a little bit of upscaling. So right now we're just on DLAA. All right, so here we are, DLAA. Switched it over to transformer model, and we are on quality upscaling now. So let's go ahead and apply that. Yes, let's go ahead and keep that. Sweet. All right, so that's going to give us a nice little bump. I'm going to make sure that we are looking at our latency as well. That got a very, very nice bump up to, or down rather, to 17.6 milliseconds and 93 FPS here on preset K with Transformer 2 and DLSS quality. So we're in the 90s here, completely maxed out. So we're just going to keep on going to see if I can get this thing all the way up to 240 hertz match as far as FPS goes. But yeah, 112 FPS in this game is not going to be hard to beat at all. You definitely don't need more, but you know, this is a really good match for you know, getting the 240 hertz out of a game about this age. You know, and of course we're going to use frame generation and all that kind of stuff as well. So we're just going to check it all out today. So 113, 117 FPS here let's just keep on going. We're just going to go into our graphics here. Now, I think it looks really good on quality, so I don't want to jump over to any more upscaling. I just want to see what potentially we could do with a little bit of frame generation. So once I locate that, there we go. We're going to use DLSS frame generation. So this is 1, 2, and 3. So this is basically saying 2x, 3x, and 4x. It's just telling you how many fake frames there's going to be. It's a little bit different than a lot of titles. All right, so let's go ahead and apply that. And let's see what we can do here. So we don't need dynamic resolution. We need to make sure that's off. Okay, so there we go. All right, so that gives us right at 164 FPS. And we are looking like we might be able to get 240 FPS out of this thing to match the refresh. But if you're on 144, you could obviously do this and then just lock it. But yeah, we're on the preset K quality DLSS. So Transformer Model 2 on DLSS 4.5. So we are looking really good. Latency's nice. Crept up a little bit, obviously, due to frame generation, but nothing too bad. All right, so let's just keep on rolling through here and see what we can do. All right, so 172 FPS there. So let's go over to options and of course jump into display and add a little bit more frames. Let's see if we can do it with just frame generation and leave that nice quality DLSS turned on. So that gives you 238, 240. So right there, here we are at 240 FPS with a latency for this type of game that is more than acceptable, 30 milliseconds, 32 milliseconds. So right here, you could go up, you know, if you really wanted to make sure that you never have to worry about your frames ever again. But 208, you know, that's pretty good. I still want to try to get to 240 with just frame generation, and then we're going to check out some upscaling to see what we can do with upscaling and less frame generation, potentially a little bit, but not all the way up to 4x. All right, so let's jump over and go to it here. So we're just going to go into display here, go ahead and kick that on. So that's saying the max generated frames will be 3, so it's basically 4x. It's very confusing. All right, so let's go ahead and do that now. Let's see where we're at. 280, 275, yeah, we're good here. So that gives me my 240 hertz refresh that I was after. So now that we can kind of check that off, that this is one way to do it, we could also check out potentially what we can do on a little bit of upscaling with less frame generation. So this is just one of those titles that runs really, really well. It's got you know, a little bit of age on it, nothing too crazy, but this kind of goes to show you you can definitely get some extremely high refresh monitors to become saturated if you use all the different stuff at your disposal. So right here, 281. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. Let's go back to upscaling and see what we can do here. So let's turn frame generation off. We're going to keep our upscaling on DLAA, and we're going to come down here and just go through balanced on up to ultra performance, because it looks really good now, considering that you have basically the preset L makes it look extremely good. Right here on balanced, we are at 120 FPS, still on that preset K. Latency dropped down to 17 milliseconds. That's good to see. All right, so let's just keep on rolling through here. 107 FPS. So right at 100 FPS right here. So we're just going to leave it on balance, of course, for a little bit here and check out what we can do as far as a little bit of frame generation with it. So let's come over here and do that now. So we're going to options, display, a little bit of frame gen. So let's do that now. See frame generation, and we are going to do 1x right here. So, well, not 1x, but basically 2x. It just says 1 extra frame. So Sony's got to be different whenever they come to this. So yeah, 170 FPS here on balance with just a 2x frame gen. And right here, you're definitely well into high refresh territory. If you're on like 120, 144, this would be all you need. Let's just come around here and check out a little bit more stuff in a little bit different area. This is not exactly enthralling. I'm just trying to give you guys a pretty good idea of what to expect without ruining any story elements, so to speak. So yeah, let's keep on going through here. 150 FPS, 170. Go ahead and go across this water here so we can expect on this area over here. So right here in the water, definitely up around 200. All right. So let's jump over and go to that very next level, frame generation. So go ahead and apply that. Yes. All right. So let's come over into it. So we are at 218 FPS here. Latency's at about 27 to 30 milliseconds. Just because of frame generation, it adds a little bit of latency, but you're already pretty low, so it doesn't hurt it too bad. All right, so 230 FPS right here. And let's just keep on going on up to the very next level. So right here on, let's see, display, and let's add another frame. So right here we are basically at 4x frame generation. And let's see what it does. All right, so 287 FPS, 289. We might be able to get 300 FPS out of this if we, do some upscaling alongside of the different frame generation methods we got. So right here, 280 FPS. So still looks quite nice. All right, and this is kind of what frame gen in my mind is used for. It's or most used for. The best case scenario is you just want to get a nice tear-free, non-blurry image out of a game that matches your refresh rate on your panel. So right here, 300 FPS. Boom, there you go. All right, so right now let's go to options. Check out graphics here. Still on very high. Everything looks good there. So let's go back one and go to display. Let's bring frame generation back out of it. So no frame gen. And we're just going to go to a performance upscale. Go ahead and apply that. All right. So performance upscale, no frame gen. And that still gives you a latency of 18 milliseconds, which is sweet, and right at 100 FPS. And let me tell you, upscaling now is just dramatically different, especially on performance and ultra performance. This is way more clear than DLSS 4 ever was when it came to performance. Performance wasn't bad at 4K, but this is noticeably better. And it still gives you a nice latency of 22 milliseconds here with 115 FPS. So right here, we're just going to keep on going and check out some frame gen on top of this, and go on to ultra performance after that. So if you want to check out the chapter markers down there, you definitely can do that. So let's go over to basically this is 2x. All right, so one extra frame, and that gives you almost 200 FPS. Latency crept up about 8 milliseconds or so. Still well in the acceptable range for a game like this, though. No big deal at all. So 200 FPS right here. So let's just keep on going on some frame generation. Really trying to exhaust all the different settings for you guys. That way you can know exactly what to expect for whatever you want to explore whenever you get it. So let's jump over into it here. I waited on this game a lot just due to the plot being ruined right at first, which made me kind of nervous to even play it. But now that we've gotten through all that, it's pretty good. All right, so yeah, we are looking at 240 FPS, 244, with 30 milliseconds on our latency, and everything looks pretty darn good here. Performance is keeping up just fine, visually speaking. I've got this sharpened to about 50% or so, so it keeps things nice and sharp without looking overly sharpened, which gives you that like kind of hard neon edge to things that I don't really like. But yeah, 50% is quite nice. It's kind of that sweet spot to me. But yeah, 240, 230 FPS. I'm going to go ahead and click that because I don't want it to be on the screen the whole time. The game thinks I'm lost. But yeah, we are 241 FPS here. So let's jump over into it and keep on going here. So what can we explore elsewhere? So right here, frame generation 4x, so basically 3 extra frames. And let's just keep on rolling through here. Hopefully this will be a nice catalog of settings that you can check out and kind of get an idea what to expect if you're considering this card or this title in this card, that kind of stuff. So right here, 290 FPS on performance with 4x frame gen, basically 3 extra frames as the game calls it. I don't really want to track that thing, but yeah, we're right here, 280 FPS. All right, so let's go up to ultra performance, and what I want you to kind of look at is just how good it looks, even on ultra performance. So right here, go into display, come down here, and let's check out ultra performance. All right, go ahead and apply that. Let's turn frame gen off just to get a baseline. Go and apply that as well. All right, so this is ultra performance. sharpened to about 50%, and this gives you 138, 140 FPS with no frame generation, and everything is quite sharp. It looks really good, especially on this L preset that it has switched us over to. Latency is going to be one thing that is going to give you a benefit if you do not use frame generation, so that's why I'm kind of going through this in a little bit of a laborious way. I know this is not a typical super exciting area, but this game is just a series of rooms sometimes, and I just wanted to make sure I don't ruin any story elements for anyone. I don't like to spoil anything, especially with a game that's like narrative like this. So that's why I just chose to just kind of run around in this big open field. You know, hopefully it'll give you a pretty good idea what to expect in the whole game. I suspect this would be a little bit harder to run than some of those enclosed houses that you kind of go through in most of the game. So just like the first one, just kind of like explore different abandoned buildings and whatnot. So it'll definitely run better in those areas than what you're seeing here. So this is a worst case scenario. So let's just keep on going here and jump over and go to our very next setting here. So ultra performance, that looks good. Frame generation, let's kick that back on. So this is a 2x frame gen, you know, 1 extra frame. I know it's kind of confusing. But yeah, that gives you 200 FPS, 203 FPS with a latency that crept up on us a little bit, right at 25, 26 milliseconds. I'm purposefully avoiding the pin because I don't want to start any kind of story. But yeah, we are right here at 25, 23 milliseconds. All right, so that's just a 2x frame gen. No big deal. So let's jump over and go to the next level here. So we're going to go to a 3x frame gen. Go ahead and turn that on. So 2 extra frames in addition to the 1 real one. That gives you 311 FPS, 310 FPS, and ultra performance looks so good now. I mean, that blurriness, this game does not use ray reconstruction, so it's able to keep it on the L model. And that's kind of why I wanted to test this game as well. You can get absurdly high frames and absurdly smooth frame time graphs now that ultra performance is usable, especially on a game that does not benefit from ray reconstruction because it doesn't utilize ray reconstruction. So hopefully we'll get that update one day for other titles, but this is a good title to test out because it doesn't break the model and allows you to just kind of like go all the way up with your settings, you know, as the game was kind of designed and intended. So right here we're at 31 milliseconds with 242 FPS. So let's go up to that very next level of frame generation right here. All right, so right here at 3 extra frames, so this is 4x. I'm even confusing myself here. So this is 4x at basically 3 extra frames in addition to the 1 real one, and that gives you 285, 290 FPS. So right here at 300 FPS, well over 300 FPS now. Got a little bit of a swing in this area, so it is a pretty decent little area to test in. I like to have areas that have you know, high highs and low lows. That way it can kind of give you a general idea of what the game will perform like. But yeah, right here we are at 300 FPS utilizing the brand new ultra performance with preset L. So yeah, if you're shopping around for a card, the 5080 is a beast for sure. You know, I know this game does not require a 5080 at all, but the intention of this title, or this choice, was to kind of just show you a game that really, I thought, benefits a lot from the new DLSS 4.5 models. They look fantastic in this game. Of course, it doesn't use ray reconstruction, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. But you know, I know this is not enthralling by any means, me riding around in a field on a horse, but it just gives you some pretty good information for what you kind of can expect for a game like this on a 5080 at 4K. All right, so if you do like this kind of stuff, please consider jumping down there, hitting that subscribe button for me. Building a really nice community here. I really enjoy what I'm seeing. So if you're not new here and you've come back, thank you again for all the support. I love hearing from you guys in the comments, and yeah, feel really good about it. So if you want to ask me any questions, jump down there and ask me, and we will see you in the very next video. Peace.